This is the only part of the ceremony that isn't scripted. And any of you who knows Sister Mary Fionnuala knows that that's not true. I may be saying the words, but I have been well informed as to what I should be saying. You see, you do know. How wonderful it is, my dearest brothers and sisters, to be here with Sister Fionnuala, her community, her father, her family, her friends, on this her profession day, Good Shepherd Sunday. If you look at the picture next to the Gospel, we have that wonderful image of our blessed Lord as the Good Shepherd, who cradles the lambs in his arms. I've often wondered, when you read the Gospel of our blessed Lord saying the Good Shepherd, he leaves the 99 and goes in search of the one. What would happen if he came back and the 99 were gone? But of course, we all know, don't we? The 99 really don't exist. Which one of us has never needed to be cradled by the Lord, to be sought by him, to be loved by him, who is our Good Shepherd? And really today, this is a response. Fionnuala's entire life in Carmelite is a response to having been discovered and found by the Good Shepherd. He has searched for her, and he has found her. And now today, in her profession, she says to him, and I have found you. And it is this wonderful embrace of love between the love of the Good Shepherd for Fionnuala and Fionnuala's love for him that reminds us, in a real sense, of every Christian vocation. For Carmel lies, in a real sense, at the heart of what it means to be a Christian. To discover that we are loved, that the Good Shepherd has sought us over the ravines and difficulties of our lives. And our entire life now is being carried by him. The enclosed life of Carmel stands within the heart of the home church, telling us this is what it's all about. It is about being discovered and found by the Good Shepherd, and letting that love of the Good Shepherd take over all of our life. No matter what we are asked to do, no matter what our position in the church is, it always is the flowering of what Carmel reminds us of, being found by the Good Shepherd. Today, indeed, is a flowering of a life, a supernatural life that began at the moment of baptism, when that love found her in a very special way for the first time. When the love that is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, that communion of love, entered into her soul. Or should we say, more true, at that moment she entered into that love. Think of the love that the Father has lavished upon us by calling us his children, and that is what we are. And of course, the whole of the spiritual life, the whole of the Christian life, is to discover what does that mean for me. That I am the beloved child of God. At the moment of our baptism, as it happened in the life of Christ himself, a voice came from heaven. You are my beloved, with whom I am well pleased. And the whole of our Christian life is to grow into this reality, to live that reality of being the beloved. And what started in the secret and the mystery of Fionnuala's soul, which was nurtured and cared for by her beloved mother and father, in her family being brought to church. What she discovered when she joined her friends in CYC, and how wonderful it is to see Father Jim and so many here from CYC this morning. To go and be part of the universal church. To hear Pope John Paul II calling the youth to bring in the good news to the new millennium. The Lord in Kilmacud in 2000. When she heard Pope John Paul II quoting a good Dominican, if I may use it today on the 29th of April, if I may sort to be, shall we say, interreligious dialogue anyway, not pluralism. When he wrote those wonderful words of St. Catherine of Siena at the end of the homily in Kilmacud, if you are what you should be, you will set the whole world ablaze. If you are what you should be. And it is here in Carmel, in the midst of this community, that Fionnuala continues to discover what it means for her to be a beloved child of God. And the whole of that Carmelite life is to discover, to take seriously, and to prefer nothing than to discover Christ, and to hear his word, and to know him. My own know me, and I know them. And of course, it's only in the modern age that knowledge has been reduced to information and data. The classical understanding of knowledge was to love, to possess. And that's the beauty of this life that Fionnuala has taken on. Because it's in this place that the Lord has chosen for her to discover what happened at the moment of her baptism. In this place to discover the face, the texture, the embrace of the Good Shepherd. And this place reminds us all today on this Good Shepherd Sunday that the Good Shepherd has found each of us. And each of us is called to discover who we are in the embrace of his love for us. Because there is nowhere else that we can discover who we are truly but in the embrace of his love for us. If I can quote St. Catherine of Siena again, the soul only sees herself fully when she sees herself in God. What we are to be in the future has not yet been revealed. All we know is that when it is revealed, we shall be like him, because we shall see him as he really is. And so, my brothers and sisters, today we celebrate this beautiful reality of our Christian vocation. As the Nun of Carmel reminds us all of who we are in our baptismal beauty as the beloved of the Good Shepherd, who searches for us, who is in this very moment, at this Mass, still searching for us. His love for us isn't finished. His delights for us are not over. But as I read the Gospel today, and I look at the picture of our blessed Lord cradling that lamb in his arms, the words almost seem to negate it. Because we discover in the words of the Gospel, rather than in the picture, the price that the Good Shepherd must pay for his love for us. Love does not come cheaply. I am the Good Shepherd. And who is the Good Shepherd? One who lays down his life for his sheep. The hired man, since he is not the shepherd, and the sheep do not belong to him, abandons the sheep and runs away as soon as he sees a wolf coming. And so part of accepting her vocation, Fionnuala has had to enter deeply into what it means to be loved by the Good Shepherd. And while the picture of Jesus cuddling the lamb may give us all comfort, it's not the full story. There is a journey that has been made, a real journey. And it has been my joy since Fionnuala's profession to journey with her in this spiritual journey. To discover in her love for Christ that she is not a hireling, that she doesn't run away. I know the pain and suffering she suffered to see her mother suffering, long before she ended up going to hospital. Should she stay in this place, or should she go away? Should she run away, or should she stay? A real temptation when the world beckons us to leave the cloister, to leave this place, and to run back in and be immediately, obviously of use and helpful. But the Good Shepherd does not run away. The Good Shepherd is not a hireling. And she has had to discover, as she said so beautifully herself to Mother Clarice, with the help of God, I have come to know in your religious community the difficulty and the joy of a life completely dedicated to Him. And so today, she takes up with new vigor those values, the difficulty and the joy. I'm not such a stupid Dominican as to presume to inform my brothers and sisters in Carmel about the greatness of the Carmelite tradition. But is there anyone, as John of the Cross, that can teach us about that fire of love which has to go through the difficulties? What it means not to be a hireling, but to be the beloved, to remain faithful in that search which allows nothing to get in the way of seeing the face of Christ. It is a great joy for us today, my brothers and sisters, to be with Sister Fionnuala and with our community. But it's also a great joy, not just for us in this place, but it's a great joy for the Archdiocese of Dublin, it is a great joy for the Church of Ireland, and it is a great joy for the Church in the world, that the love of Christ is still alive. Christ's love for us lives, and that's our great resurrection joy. He is not dead. He did suffer. He did enter. He did take seriously. He laid down his life. And he was doing it not because he had to. He wasn't being forced. I laid down my life, why? Out of love for his Father. Because the Father loves me, I do this. And so our sister today, free, and I would say in a freedom that's quite unbelievably human. The freedom that says yes to God, absolutely. So much of our temptation now is the freedom to say no, to talk about one's own independence, to speak about one's own fulfillment. But the Christian message teaches us that our true freedom, our true joy, our true peace is to say yes to God. In this community of the Blessed Virgin Mary of Montcar, Mary, the freest person in the whole world, the freest human person that ever existed. And she said yes. And so I say today is a great joy for the whole church. Because what Fionnuala is doing is not just in her own soul, it's not just for her own family, her own community, but it is a building up of the whole church. For the more each and every one of us is who we are, the church is built up. This nun today says yes totally and absolutely to God, who will discover as the years go by that she must lay down her life, that she must give herself completely, that she will not run away, that in that commitment to love and to sacrifice, for what love does not involve sacrifice, but in that love, the whole church of God is being built up. The mystery of the triumph of love is the mystery which is saving the world. I go back for the last moment to Blessed Pope John Paul II. I remember he was very sick the whole year 2000. I was in Rome, and I was watching the television. It was another one of these jubilees. Every weekend we had a different jubilee. And somebody said to Father Cantor the Mess on the television, he's the papal preacher, Capuchin. And he said, should not he give up being Pope? What can he do? He's sick, he's frail, he's stuck in a wheelchair. And Cantor the Mess said, when did Jesus Christ save the world? When he was running around, preaching, healing, feeding the hungry, raising the dead? Or when he was stuck on a cross and he could do nothing else but love? That was the moment the world was saved. And he said, maybe John Paul is doing more good now for the church, suffering in a wheelchair, than he ever did when he was running around being super bishop. Maybe that reminds us today of how necessary this ceremony is for the life of the church. Because the church grows where there is love. The whole church is renewed when somebody gives herself in love to Christ. Today, my dearest brothers and sisters, the church is a better place because of what Sister Fionnuala Joseph, Mary Fionnuala Joseph of the Eucharist does. She accepts the love of the Good Shepherd for her. And love demands that we love in return. That's the meaning of this ceremony. The Good Shepherd has found her, and she has found him. And that great line of Blessed John Henry, the heart speaks to heart. This is the church, and this is what we celebrate today, and we thank God.